Where are you? I'm outside your house. You're not home. You're not answering your phone. Come on, man. Where are you? We got to do the show. I can't do it alone. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Ah! Oh.
People of Earth.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 55 of Film Banter.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, here we are once again. Another thrilling episode in the annals of Film Banter.
Indeed.
Or the anals, as the Pope might want to mention, as you just made a comment about his anus moments ago. But there you go, friends. So that is true, isn't it?
It's very true.
A man who does not know how to use a megaphone. It's very true.
No, what it comes down to is I don't want to put my mouth on it. I'm a germaphobe. You know
okay.
that. You know that.
Well, there you go. Well, you know.
It could be anybody next to me. I don't want to put my mouth on
My
it.
lips are ever so soft.
Yes.
There you go.
I'm sure they are.
All right, my friends.
Says
It
your
is
dogs.
us here again. Yes, so they do say. Yeah, that's right. All right, Angie. I love you, baby. Okay.
He takes Animal Lover to a whole new level.
I certainly do. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something to be said for that. Once again, the lights are so bright. I've got my my shades.
You've got
around.
chroma glasses.
Yeah, just to actually, these are my Harleys.
Oh, nice.
Harley Davidson glasses.
This man has a very extensive collection
These are
of
very expensive.
sunglasses
You know, I
earphones,
lost these twice today.
and flashlights.
Just bought a new pair of headphones today, as a matter of fact. Electrostats.
Beautiful.
I've never tried them before. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start the show. We're going to get
We're
right
gonna
into
go
it
right into
because
it.
although maybe we should talk about a little human banter.
Okay. What do you
Let's
want to
talk
talk
about tonight's meal.
We had a good meal.
We had a good meal.
We
We went
had,
to the Mason jar.
We had a waitress from hell with zero personality.
You know, she was just an
It's a
older
shame.
lady.
I think she's just burnt out.
You know, I think
I give her the benefit of the
too many
doubt.
rides in the Volkswagen, not Volkswagen, but in that station wagon with the paneling on the side.
Why do they do
Taking
that, by the way?
Taking the kids to the soccer mom
Yeah.
practice. She probably missed her kid's soccer mom today, but she was mad at the world,
I
wasn't
think
she?
so. She
She's
wasn't
not a
happy
happy
to be
lady.
in a profession tonight. I mean, she took her order.
She did.
Took 5 minutes to bring the drinks,
Yeah.
and then she
But you
brought
know
the
what?
dinners. But then she was gone for like 20 minutes.
In her defense, though,
she did bring bread, though.
I must say that she did bring bread finally.
Delicious rolls.
But they were good. They're
really
very
good.
small. They're not nearly as good
They're
as
dinner
the
rolls.
Cheesecake Factory, which has the dark
Oh, those
bread.
are really good.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Well, they have
spectacular.
pumpernickel. Even more options.
I
over
know
there.
they do have the pumpernickel and the standard.
Tonight
white
on
bread.
Bread Banter, we're talking about pumpernickel.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bread Banter.
Bread Banter.
The bantering of
We
bakery
love bread.
dough and dough of bakery.
I
and
love
the
bread.
dough we have to put out to buy the stuff.
People that know me best know that bread is my favorite thing on the planet.
Ladies
bread
and
and
gentlemen,
butter.
and now here's a
Bread
very
and butter.
trivia question from Mr. Chris P. Picard,
Tell
also
me.
known as Harry P. Ness.
Yes.
Okay, who had the best bread of all?
Joe's American
You
Bar
got
and
it,
Grill.
dude.
I
They
win.
were the best.
What do I win? A free refrigerator?
Oh man, I
They
wish
were the
we could
best.
have a
Rest in
lifetime
peace.
supply of their bread.
Oh, so
that was the
good.
best bread I ever
Very
had in my
messy,
life.
but it was amazing.
It was just doughy and
And it was
soft
hot and crispy.
gooey. It was hot and it was
And the
crispy.
butter was a whipped butter. It was
Oh
delicious.
my God! You just wanted to order
Yeah.
that, and the hell with the burger, the hell
Just
with the
give me
steak,
3 baskets
the
of
hell
bread.
with the crispy chicken salad.
We would go there for lunch
Oh
for
my
years.
God.
And you notice, as we were getting closer and closer to that place closing its doors,
The
we would
demise.
get less and less bread, and you'd
Did we?
really have to ask for it.
I wonder
Originally,
why.
you'd get a whole loaf that we
Yeah.
would break in half.
True.
By the time that the place was ready to close its doors, we got a half of a half.
Really?
Yeah, a half. And then we would
I
have to
don't
ask for
remember
more.
that.
Yeah.
It's very true. Very possible.
Oh, that place was so good.
It was so delicious,
Yeah,
though. I wonder where they
delicious.
went. Maybe they're out in the Midwest now.
I mean,
maybe
I
they're
know
on
it's
the
a
West
corporate
Coast.
chain. I don't know if they
Who
all
knows
closed
where
their
they've
doors.
been? Who knows where they've gone?
Now it's another department store or whatever.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's now. I think it's not a gym, but it's something.
Is it something boring?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. But,
No, I think it's a store now.
it's not a restaurant. That's
No, it's
for
not.
Sure.
It's a store.
But they are right next door to the Paparazzi, which is a pretty good restaurant.
I've never been. I know they were
no,
the same
that's
company.
Italian.
Yeah.
No, they're good. They're just like your Olive
Olive Garden,
Garden, but they're
Macaroni
better.
Grill.
They're
Yeah.
better. They're better.
Okay.
They're really not bad at all.
Oh, good to
All
hear.
right, so let's begin the show. We begin the begin.
Now it's time for
as
actually talking about films
Mr.
here.
Cole Porter might say, 1936.
Begin the begin?
Now it is start. You know, I was shocked to see, because episode 1 just went up on the annals of YouTube.
It did.
YouTube cornucopia.
Yes.
This past week, so I was surprised to see that I used that very expression, begin the begin.
You did it from the start.
I did it from the very beginning.
Very good.
And then from the
Yeah, for those of
begin.
you who are wondering what we're discussing, over the weekend, I decided to throw up our first episode ever from over a year ago onto YouTube. So
we look so different then.
yeah, we were so young.
I'm far less
I
attractive.
put it up in the raw when we used to film just with only a webcam.
Yeah.
Just to
It's very raw.
show our roots.
It's very raw.
But
The
we
footage
did a
is-
little introduction
the
a
footage
few
is
weeks
horrifying.
back to introduce the old archives. It was fun. We did. Again, check us out on YouTube.
I was always very
and
proud
Facebook.
of that. I was always very proud of that first show
I
because
loved it.
the chemical essence of our
It was there.
film bantering
Yes.
essence was right
The
there.
seeds were there and
right
bam.
there on screen
Yeah.
for all to see.
It was great.
Even though I did feature my Matthew Perry neck.
Well, also, you were sitting like this. You were like this in front of the camera the whole time. You shouldn't have sat that close.
I was.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, the whole show you were like that.
Well, there you go.
We got a really good shot of your earlobe
We got a what?
and your nostrils. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
It's super
you
profile.
Know, the cavernous cavern here. Mm-hmm. Well, all right.
All right, let's
us
get back to the
let us
show.
get back to the show. We're going to open up with a movie that Chris reviewed
A couple weeks back.
literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Which was the new Tom Cruise film, American Made.
American Made.
Chris, I do believe. What was your review of this film?
I thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
So out of a 10, or you'd give it an 8 or so?
Oh,
or out
you
of
know, let me think. I think I gave it. You know, I didn't give it a star or a number rating or letter rating, but I would say, looking back on how I felt about that film, I would say I'd give it an 8. I mean, it's not the best film ever, but it was a lot of fun. I'm taking this as maybe you didn't care for it.
I did like it. I thought Tom was excellent. I
great.
really liked Tom in this movie.
Solid.
Tom is always solid.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
He really
Hardest
is.
working guy ever.
You know, there's something about preparing yourself to watch a Tom Cruise movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that is, but I find myself not always ready to make that leap.
Okay.
For me, there's always a little bit more of hesitation. I don't know why, because it's Tom. I like Tom, but
Is it the
at the same
Scientology?
time, I don't know what it is. I don't know what
Knee-jerk
it is about
reaction?
him. No, there's just something about him. You know, you know he's a workaholic. You know that he's going to give almost I hate to say a fabricated performance, but I feel often that I'm getting a performance that is calculated, that is, I don't feel that he's an organic actor to some extent. Organic meaning, you know.
I know, natural.
He's not
Is
a
what you're
natural actor. I think he really works at
Well, he's
his
got coaches.
craft.
And,
He's got
he works
coaches.
hard.
And, I mean, there's all kinds of input and drugs and non-drugs and, you know, I don't know what.
Well, some people are
cauliflower essence.
Yeah, like you said,
of
some people are natural.
cornucopia oil. There's that word.
Some
again.
need that extra boost.
Could very well be, but I just have to prepare myself. The Mummy I saw in the theater just recently.
So you're the one that saw it.
I did see it, and I was But hey, let's get that rolling, shall we, folks? Whoa, hello.
Yeah, that movie
Wait.
is being blamed for like the demise of sequels and reboots, and
Oh.
I read a whole report about
I
it.
didn't mind that film, and of course the guy that was in the guy who was in The New Girl, who was in that film that you just saw on Netflix recently. About he was a gambler. Remember that guy?
Yes,
Nick?
yeah. You're talking about the Win It All, that movie? That guy, yes.
Yeah. But anyway, he's the kind of the cohort of him. We're getting off the subject here.
Okay.
Let me get back to American Made. Did I love this film? I did not love this film, and I'll tell you why. I thought the first half hour of the film, where we set the scenario.
Yeah.
Tom is a drug cartel. Not a cartel, that's wrong. He's a drug mule, basically. He's driving, he's flying to these Bogota, he's flying to
Central
America to do dealings with the drug.
Well, first it starts out because the CIA wants him to do reconnaissance. First he's just a spy plane taking
Basically,
pictures.
correct.
But then
He has to land.
He stumbles into
so
this.
as he lands, now the guys there on the ground are saying,
yes.
"Hey, listen, as long as you're going back to Mexico,
Yes.
why don't you do a drop off for
We
us?
give you 10%,
We
you
give
know?
we'll give you $2,000 per ounce
Yeah, amazing,
and a
yeah,
half
yeah.
of cocaine.
Yeah.
So if you'll drop it off for us, we give you the money, you make the money." He's thinking to himself, "Yeah, why not? I'm going there anyway. I'll just drop it off." Blah blah blah. So I thought that was pretty cool. However, once we get past that whole thing where he's now he's basically prostituting himself out to do these runs. Now he's doing runs. I do like the fact the guy who's now in that silly Winnie the Pooh movie, who was also in Ex Machina, the guy with the red hair.
Dermot Gleeson.
There you go.
He's done a lot of stuff lately.
He's done a lot of stuff lately, and he's very
Brendan
good.
Gleeson's son.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Brendan
okay.
Gleeson, that's his son.
Oh, very good. Who's
Yeah.
Brendan Gleeson?
You know him. He's a great actor. He was in a lot of stuff. He was Mel Gibson's right-hand man with the beard in Braveheart.
Oh, okay.
That guy. Big
Oh, I
beard.
know that guy.
Tons of stuff.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, yes, I do know Brendan Gleeson. All right. He's an Irish guy, is he not? Scottish?
I
Is
believe
he?
I think it's Irish. I'm
He
pretty
might
sure.
be an Irish lad or
think he's
perhaps
Irish.
a Scottish man.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
One of the two.
Angie, what are you doing over there? Don't be eating crap off the floor now.
That's a good accent.
Young lassie. But anyway, so once we got past that whole initial concept of him being this
Yeah.
drug mule flying the plane everywhere, I felt that it kind of went into a loop mode for the next 45 minutes to an hour before we hit the final finale,
Yes.
the ending, where things kind of change and
course.
in the usual documentary type
Yeah.
film based on a true story
Consequences,
way.
you know.
Exactly, consequences entail and blah 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 happens.
Exactly.
But not to go there to ruin it for our humble audience. But I found that the movie kind of went into a loopy kind of mode where we just kept going over and doing the same thing. Okay, now he's doing this. Now the CIA will overlook
Yeah.
his doing of the drug stuff if he'll go drop weapons
this.
off over here in this country. So I kind of like that whole thing, but there wasn't much of a change in the concept of the film build. There was no arc, so to speak. There was no plot. There was just this, just watching Tom and his
Well, yeah, there's
antics.
story, not plot. Not some movies
Well,
don't
true.
have plot.
No,
They just
I
have
understand
story.
that. I understand that. But
Yeah.
but it is a story. It is a
Yeah.
true story. So
Yeah.
we're kind of doing in that. It immediately comes to mind that Leonardo DiCaprio, Steven Spielberg film.
Oh, yeah, Catch Me If You
If You
Can.
Can.
Yes, yes.
Which I kind of liked.
It's a fun movie.
It's a fun little film, but this I don't think was that much fun.
Yeah, see, I love that. I disagree.
I thought it was just okay.
Okay.
I thought it was just okay. Can I really recommend it? I'm not sure if I can because I don't think people are going to really enjoy it so much. Did I enjoy it? I sort of did. So I'm going to give it a mild thumbs up. There you go.
Okay.
But I didn't love it. Yeah, that whole middle section of the film for me just it went nowhere. It was just
Not even watching his gorgeous wife got you through the film?
she was she's
very good, too.
She was a very thin lady.
Yes.
She was. I don't think she was quite as beautiful as you thought maybe she was, but that's neither here nor there. She was quite lovely. If you're watching who played Tom's wife in the film, I thought you were just stunning. But
She appreciates that.
I'm sure she does.
She'll
somewhere.
email us later. Filmbath@gmail.com.
Yeah, right. She'll be outside.
I'm waiting for that
waiting
email.
for me
I'm going to
with
hold my
with
breath.
with a coin changer on her belt.
Yeah.
Ready to take my deposit.
Exactly.
Hey.
Didn't work.
This thing just doesn't
You're
want to
having a lot
work
of problems
tonight.
with that lately.
Sometimes you got to feed it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm giving American Made. I didn't enjoy it as much as you did, but I did
Okay.
enjoy the film.
Okay.
It was okay. Tom was good. This was one of his best performances.
agree.
I
I
thought.
agree.
I really liked Tom in this.
I agree.
He's very likable. He's very humble.
Yes.
He's not his usual. I'm Mr. Too Cool for School kind of guy. So I thought he was kind of. I liked his everyman kind of performance.
Okay.
There you go.
Good to hear.
Okay.
So move on.
Our next film is going to be When Animals Dream.
And it is on Netflix and
It is.
Amazon. You can watch it on either platform.
Okay, it is a Danish film.
From 2014, I believe.
Is it 2014?
I think it's 2014.
Oh, I didn't know. It
I
was that
neglected
old.
to write it down.
I thought it was more 2016, actually.
No, I think it's 14. I'll look it up right now. But continue with your premise.
Well, my premise is this. This is the Danish.
2014.
Ah, you're very right.
The Danes.
Very good. The Danes make gloomy films. I have to say that life in Denmark. I've been to Denmark, and it's really a lovely city. I mean, not city. I've been to Copenhagen. Wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen. It's actually pronounced Copenhagen. Danny Kaye screwed it up for everybody by singing Wonderful, Wonderful Copenhagen in the film Hans Christian Andersen back
Yes.
in the 1950s sometime. But this is a grim, gloomy film, just like the Department Q films.
I agree.
There's that essence of there's no God there. It feels as though we're living on this bleak premise of the only
Yeah.
thing to do is screw and drink. Hey, but it's a nice job if you can get it. It's not such a bad gig.
And eat fish.
Any fish in the sea.
That
ladies
whole
and
area,
gentlemen.
that's all they do is eat fish.
Oh, man.
Norway,
I tell you,
Finland.
after watching this film, you never want to eat
Denmark.
another fish as long as you live.
Oh, that scene with the
film
guard,
with
the dumpster, they...
Oh, wow.
Ugh.
That was horrible.
Vomit.
But just the fish guts they throw in her
Disgusting.
locker
It's
and stuff.
disgusting.
This girl lives in a family that is
They live on an
noted-
island in
and there's a
Denmark.
terrible, terrible secret that is a
Yes.
family secret. I love the acting in this film, though. I
very
really
good.
did. I thought it was very good. The premise is it's kind of a slash horror, almost not sci-fi, maybe fantasy kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like
you said, personal drama also.
it is a personal drama.
It isn't,
more so than anything. It's more about the outcast. It's an outcast movie about somebody who is specifically wants to fit in with everybody, but can't.
She's a
due
young
to
girl,
a
16-year-old
physical
blonde.
abnormality.
She reminded me of Saoirse Ronan a little bit.
Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan, remember her?
That, I had one of those on my leg once.
Yes, you did. Anyway,
I couldn't get it off.
But I'm bummed. That's what she reminded me of.
Had big hairs growing out. A lot of hair was growing out of that big Saoirse Ronan.
It did. No, but she
But I
reminded me
do
of her a
love
little
her.
bit.
No,
was
she's from.
This is the only.
She was in Brooklyn.
Yes, and this is the only movie this girl was in.
Well, this girl is a bleak, plain looking.
Very plain.
I think.
But she's got this attractiveness to her.
No, there is.
Very odd appearance.
Yeah, she was.
But she fits
very,
perfectly in this
very
film.
pointy performance. She's very
I know what you're
thin,
saying, yeah.
bony, but. It's very often there's a beautiful woman that we all know named Rooney Mara.
Yes.
Now Rooney, I've seen Rooney without makeup in some films. In fact, I'm watching Una now. I'm
Yes.
halfway through Una.
Yes.
And this is a film. Well, let's not talk about Una, but she's a woman who, without makeup, it doesn't look so. She's
not
very plain,
glamorous,
looking.
but
if you've ever seen Sofia Vergara without
approachable, yeah.
makeup, oh my God. They have her on the cover of the Enquirer every once in a while.
I know,
without
they love
makeup.
finding those pics.
Courtney Cox and Jennifer Aniston without makeup, and they look very plain. Or Pamela Anderson. How many times have I seen that one? And she doesn't look so great. But I'll tell you, this girl with makeup would look quite lovely.
I love her father in this movie. He's very good. Lars
He's
Mikkelsen.
dynamite.
I
He's
know him
so
from
good.
House of Cards. He's in that.
Oh, is he?
He plays the Russian president, kind of like a Putin type character on that show.
Oh, wow.
Very, very good actor. I like him. He's got a great presence. He's got an awesome appearance. He has a good look. And I thought he was excellent in this film.
He's a great actor.
I thought this
too.
was a beautiful film to look at. Just the
It
first
was.
5 minutes,
Yeah.
with all the establishing the scenery and the setting of the island.
Absolutely.
Beautiful photography.
Well, it's not an island. It's
No, they're on an island. It takes place on an island in Denmark.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's
Really?
an isolated small town island. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the premise even says that it takes place on an island.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah, but it's a very bleak looking movie.
It's a very bleak looking film, and it is a bleak story.
Yeah.
Also, she's an outcast, and there's a grim family secret
That's
that is
occurring.
almost kind of a.
Let's
of
just say a metamorphosis
Let's say
in a
of
way.
a werewolfian
Yeah.
nature. Her mother is. There's a warmth to this movie
Yeah.
too. I like the father specifically.
He was good.
and the love that he has for his daughter.
His daughter,
and so forth.
yeah.
There's a lot of great.
And the love he has for his wife.
And they always have, why are there always these horrible assholes in
Always.
these movies? Why must they be in every film?
I know. They have to
You
have,
know,
well, you have to have an
we
antagonist,
have
otherwise
to
there's no
have
drama.
That conflict, or there is no drama. But boy,
They
this
always
one-
pick them well. My dad and I always say
They
that.
do, yeah.
They really pick them. The
They
casting
really
directors
do.
do their jobs very
I know.
well.
Well, look at the kid, the little blonde kid in It. You remember him?
What a
little
bastard.
What a little bastard.
I wanted
he
to kick him in
was.
the face
Just
with an
wanted
iron
to-
boot.
I just wanted to,
Yeah.
tie his
Ugh.
ears together. He was horrified.
I wanted to take a piece of barbed wire, put it around his neck, and put my foot against like this.
I wanted to take a meat hook,
Yeah.
put it up him, and then turn it sideways.
Oh, what a
meat hook sideways.
And that would be
Oh.
very, very merciful to do that. Too.
And that would, because
he deserves
was
worse.
Well, he died a miserable
He
death.
did.
in
He
that
needs to
film.
be crucified upside down in sulfuric acid.
He needs to be hung by his balls in the Times Square next to George Bush Jr.
Oh.
I'm telling you, because that's how I always felt about George Bush. But anyway,
But he'd be a dream compared to our current leader.
well,
I'd pay money for George Bush too.
to be back again
over this guy?
isn't that a horrible thing to say?
But
But
at least,
George almost destroyed the economy of this country. Well, look at Donald. He's going to do the same thing.
of course,
So it doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
Okay,
We digress.
We're only on our second film here.
But,
and we're
um,
and the show's almost half over. So we really have to speed it up.
Well, yeah,
it's
I don't
me.
know.
I'm talking too much.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
apologize.
we both liked When Animals Dream. I thought it was a really cool film.
I liked it too. I'm
Yeah.
so glad I asked
I
you to
enjoyed
watch
it.
it. I was shocked that you actually
Yeah,
watched
well,
it
it was
right
good.
away.
You know what sold it for me? It was short.
Yeah,
So
it's only an hour and 30
I could fit it
minutes.
in.
Yeah.
It was good. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
That's what I said to her. Hey,
And I do like I like Danish films.
I do too.
Those Department Q
those
films are
Department
great.
Q films,
They're
all
great.
three of them were
Yeah.
spectacular.
Check them out on Netflix.
Oh my God,
Department Q,
so
3 films,
amazing.
trilogy of serial killer cop dramas.
Absolutely, all as intense, if not more so,
Yeah.
than Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, and 7. I mean, it's that
So,
kind of a film.
That kind of film, just
Yeah.
grim and
Yeah.
heartless and
Bleak.
but graphic and great.
Really
Just love the acting, love the characters.
Yeah.
the head detective who's the drunk, and then there's his side man who's kind of from Syria or something. I just love it. It's
really good.
Fantastic stuff. Absolutely.
All right,
Let's
so
move on
moving on, you're going to do Now in Theaters.
Now in theaters. Now the girl who's in this film, we should have gotten her name.
I'll pull it up.
Maybe you want to get
We're
her.
doing Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day.
I'll
Just
pull it
opened
up.
in theaters this past Friday. In fact, it ruled the box office with 25 mil
Wow.
over the weekend. And I got to tell you something. I really like this movie a lot. It doesn't hurt that the girl is...
Jessica Roth.
This girl looks
Yeah.
like a Blake Lively's little sister. She could be her stand-in in any film on the go right now. She is terrific. This is a star-making performance for this girl, I have to say. This is basically Groundhog's Day in a death scenario.
Okay.
She gets up in the morning in this guy's apartment. I mean, you know, it's funny, but
So it's reliving the same thing.
You're reliving the same thing, and of course we do too, as the humble audience that we are. We have to sit there and watch her get up every morning. This guy's thing, and you know, and at least for the first 20 minutes of the film, we have to do this whole thing over as she succumbs to the idea that now, hey, what's going on here? And then what happens is she goes through her day, and by the end of the day, some guy comes out in this funky, childlike, almost Devo mask. I don't know if you remember the mask that they used to wear on. They had this baby, this little Devo baby, and he had a mask on. It's the same kind of mask that this guy wears as he kills her every single time in this film. So, and of course, there's a great twist. You know, you think you're seeing what's going on, but it's a great little movie. It's very well made. There's no blood in it. It's just a PG 13.
Oh, it's PG-13.
Yeah, it's PG-13. So there is no blood. But I love the performances. You know, we just go through this whole, and the guy finally says to her at the end, "You ever see Groundhog's Day?" And she goes, "Groundhog's Day?" And he goes, "Yeah, with Bill Murray." And she goes, "Bill Murray? Who's that?"
Oh.
But she's at least 25 or so in this film. You know she knows who Bill. Everybody knows who Bill Murray is because Ghostbusters is a phenomenon and a United States treasure.
Yes, it is.
So, but I tell you,
You know,
I
I
like
saw
this
back to
film.
Ghostbusters. I saw a woman the other day over the weekend that looked just like Gozer. Remember the end of Ghostbusters, the woman with the flat top that they have to kill at the top of the building? She appears, she's got the white outfit
You know, I haven't
on.
seen Ghostbusters. The last
She
time I
looked
saw
just like her.
Ghostbusters was in the theater.
Why? How come you haven't seen it since?
Because no desire to really see it.
Oh, it's a
You
classic.
know, I did watch the new one with
Yeah, see, I didn't see that
Melissa
yet.
McCarthy.
I'm putting that off.
It wasn't horrible. I mean, it wasn't great. I mean, it was horrible.
Okay.
It was really bad.
Not anywhere near my priority list.
Yeah, but it was still fun, and I did like the ending.
I'll watch it
the
one
big
day.
special effects ending,
Yeah.
and I do love Kate McKinnon from Saturday
Great
Night Live.
cast.
She's great. She's kind of
Just
fun.
not interested.
And also, what's her name is in it? You know, from Bridesmaids, Kristen Wiig.
Oh, yeah,
I love
of course.
her in this movie. But regardless, that's another thing. Happy Death Day, though. It's in theaters right now. I really enjoyed this film.
Okay, I'm glad you liked it.
I wouldn't go out to rush out to see it, though. Horror films are always generally very short.
Yeah.
It's only an hour and 30. But, you know, just wait. It'll be on your cable network in the next 2 months. So I wouldn't rush out and pay big bucks to see a movie that's not cinematically inclined. It's just basically your 3x4 screen as opposed to your 4x3 kind of widescreen. It's just not necessarily a theater film.
Okay.
So let us move on to the
I'm gonna
Professor,
do the Professor
Marston and the Wonder Women.
The Professor and the Wonder Women. Yes,
Not
currently
woman.
in theaters.
There you
Wonder
go.
Women, EN.
This
yes.
is about the man who
This,
created.
this is pretty much about the man who created the Wonder Woman comic book.
Okay.
And I gotta say, I didn't know anything about the creation of this comic book, and I found the film to be pretty fascinating. It takes place, starts out roughly in the 20s, and it goes through about the mid 40s. During about World War II.
Who's the star of this film?
The star of the film is Luke Evans, who seems to be in everything these
Luke
days.
Evans? Really
He's
good.
very good. Yeah, Luke Evans.
Okay,
yeah.
I know the guy. He
He was in Beauty and the Beast. He was guest on.
Right.
He's in Fast and the Furious. I mean, he was in High Rise. He's been in a ton of stuff.
Okay.
Very good actor.
No, he's good.
And then we have his wife in the film, is played by Rebecca Hall.
Right.
And then we have, I'm going to say her name because I don't remember it offhand. Then the other female in the film, the third lead, very pretty blonde. Her name is Bella Heathcote.
Bella Heathcote.
Heathcote, an Australian actress.
Bella.
Heathcote.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the film, he is a professor, a teacher who's very interested in psychology, human behavior, human emotion. His wife works with him very closely, and they become, pretty much involved with this young blonde who starts out as a research assistant.
And who
And
would,
then,
ladies and
this is
gentlemen?
not really a spoiler.
Okay.
There ends up being pretty much a three-way.
Threesome.
But it's not just that. It's actually a three-person relationship.
Oh, okay.
And it's not just like a one-off.
Kind of like Henry and June. You
yeah.
probably never saw Henry and June.
I know the movie. I haven't
But
seen
it's
it, no.
about
Yeah.
Henry Miller. Uma
Yes.
Thurman plays his.
Yes.
And then there's another girl that they bring in that
Becomes part of it.
basically part of it.
Yeah, so this obviously
Three-way love affair. Yeah.
obviously very scandalous back in the day. I mean, still fairly scandalous today in some circles in this country. But
Oh, come on.
no, it's still kind of a taboo thing. To have
Are you kidding? The Mormons, they have, they don't have 3 ways. They have 8 ways.
yeah, but that's different. That's like a religious cult.
Oh, and
kind
by the
of
way,
thing.
oh, no, I meant to say this. Oh, shoot, I screwed. I don't know what's wrong with this damn thing. But I meant to do this. I meant to do to the Mormons.
They figured it
Applause
out,
to the
right?
Mormons,
They
man.
figured it out?
Well, thank God for that. But, the Mormons, I mean, hey, they
but-
got it right, man.
Yeah, I gotta say, this film it is very, very fascinating. I really, like I said, didn't know anything about it. So you really,
And he almost didn't go.
yeah. Well, originally I was gonna see something else, but this ended up working out better.
And what film were you going to see that you're going
Well,
to review
which
next
I'm
week?
gonna see soon. It's called The Florida Project, which
Right.
is supposedly one of the best films of the year.
Yeah.
With Willem Dafoe. I'm
Right.
gonna see that. But anyway, so this film, I recommend it. It was really well done, directed by a woman. Not that matters, but some people might care. It was
Yeah, I don't care.
a little slow at times, but overall very fascinating.
It was a short film, an hour and 38
No,
minutes.
it was an hour and
38 minutes.
30. Was it that short? It
Yes.
felt. I'll be honest, it felt a little longer.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
That's what
but
she said
but
to you.
yes, but I still liked it. It was very entertaining. I didn't know this, that the guy that created the comic, he also invented the lie detector. Pretty interesting.
Really?
Yeah, pretty interesting. But the
Wow.
reason he didn't make any money off it, he put it out there in a journal for public consumption because he didn't feel that it should be something he should profit from. He's like, no, I think the world should have this.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very smart guy.
He's
Though.
very ideological. But his wife.
When was the lie detector actually built?
I'm sorry.
When was it built? In
I-
the 30s?
They,
Probably.
they didn't give us an exact. There weren't any title cards to give us the exact year. Well, sometimes there was, but they didn't. I think this was probably during the 30s.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Late 20s.
Have you ever
maybe.
had a lie detector test?
Never. It'd be interesting.
I have.
I'd like to, because it's all based on heartbeat.
I beat it
And
myself.
Good for you.
I did. I beat the lie detector.
I'm happy to hear it.
I did indeed. That's
Very
very
good.
true.
Cool.
I just remained calm and I lied through my teeth and I passed.
See, George Costanza on Seinfeld said, "It's not a lie if you believe it."
True.
Yeah, which
Well,
makes sense.
Look at Donald Trump's whole organization.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything he says, he believes, even
Yeah.
though he's just misinformed.
Exactly.
It's like OJ, he really believed in his heart. He convinced himself he
That he
was
didn't do
innocent.
it. Yeah, exactly.
He really did. I
So-
believe that in my heart. He
Yeah.
convinced himself he didn't do it. Because I
That's
think
true.
he blacked out.
Blacked
he got
out, yeah.
so angry.
We could have had a disassociative fugue state.
Precisely.
You know?
Anger will do
Yeah.
that, as you well know. I've been the wrath of some of your anger
Yes.
moments where
I have
you
anger.
screamed and
I have
yelled
angry
at me,
moments. I do. Yes.
And you completely go berserk.
On my defense, you've done the same to me.
No, I really never go angry on you.
Like you called me about a month ago, screaming at me about your camera, totally like a lunatic.
Oh, well, that's
which you
true.
did apologize for because you were not feeling well
because
because your body was revolting against your diet.
No, you got
When
me
you,
there.
yeah, you found out you were having medical
Well, I
issues.
had just spent 3
I
hours
know.
shooting photographs of stuff to put up
Without
on
looking in the
eBay.
viewfinder, though.
No, I looked in the viewfinder.
Then how did you not notice? Because that's a representation of how the image looks.
No. Looking through the viewfinder is one thing. Looking at the little.
But that's how you should be looking at the view screen.
Okay, when I looked at the little view screen, which I do, and I just glance at that. Okay, what you had done was you had used my camera to do
we did a
video,
bit, yeah.
to do a video bit,
And I had to change the setting.
You had to change the setting. You never put it back.
Yes.
So unfortunately, everything I shot was
black.
totally. No, it was so overexposed.
Overexposed.
Yeah, I couldn't tone
Yes.
it down. You would think I would be able to take that brightness away.
No, you
I
can't.
couldn't do it.
It's
You
better to
totally-
be underexposed than overexposed.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
Absolutely.
back to the review. I recommend it. It's a good film. There's some
Okay.
comedy. It's a romance more than anything.
All right.
It's educational.
And
It's
Rebecca Hall is in it, and I
Yeah,
love Rebecca
she's
Hall.
excellent.
I
Everybody's
love the
excellent.
woman.
And the film has a lot of themes that are very relevant for what's going on today in our society.
Well, I'm sure that's why the film was made.
Yeah, there's a feminist movement that's mentioned.
Yeah.
Suffrage is mentioned. This film was he as a writer, as a professor, was very much into
Okay.
the movement. He wanted to encourage women to, hey, you can live your own life. You don't have to be under the thumb of men.
I mean,
you can make your
How
own
many times
way.
have we heard this theme go on in any?
No, I know, but you think about it, you wouldn't expect it to come in a comic book, but yet that was the core of why he wanted to do this, and S&M
understood. I mean,
plays into it.
The whole
as
basic
well.
of the whole basicness of Wonder Woman is that she's a woman who takes control. She's a woman who
No,
has completely
understood,
defied
but the
her origin and broken out and being
No, I
this
agree with you,
incredible
but
woman.
a lot of times people would discard comic books as having anything meaningful. There's some scenes in the film that involve some critics of the comic, and there's almost like a trial aspect of him
Oh, really?
for
Oh,
creating
interesting.
such smut or whatever, or
Smut?
well, because there was a lot of depictions in the comic book of bondage and women being tied up.
In the comic book?
Yes, they showed a lot of the images in the film from
In the
comic.
Wonder Woman?
Yes. She
Wow.
was always tied up.
I'm
People
gonna have
were
to
always
check
tied
out
up.
some of those early episodes.
Well, because he was into bondage and S&M
Well,
in
good
real
for
life.
him, man. Hey.
So anyway, the Professor Marston
For
and the
bondage
Wonder
and
Woman,
S&M,
I recommend the film.
Wholeheartedly.
It's good to check out.
I will
I
definitely
give it a
see
solid yes.
No, I want to see the film. I really do.
Now we're going to do The Babysitter on Netflix.
Let us go to The
Just
Babysitter.
premiered over the weekend.
It did indeed. Directed by your buddy, Mr. McG.
McG,
who
yeah.
did all the Charlie's Angels films.
he's not really my
with
buddy.
Barrymore. Well, you like him. He started out as a video director.
I don't like McG.
Oh, I thought you were. I thought that's why you. Because when I mentioned to you about seeing The Babysitter.
Yeah, I said, McG
you
directed
said
it.
McG directed.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I like him.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I think he's okay.
Oh, I thought you were saying, "Oh, I'll watch it." McG directed it.
No. I was just stating it as a fact. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not a disciple of McG.
Okay.
But
Are you now?
No.
Okay.
No, but I think the film. I think the film had some good
Well,
photography.
let's set the film up.
Yeah, go ahead. You want to do the premise?
I'll be happy to. This film is about, it just as it sounds, it kind of almost has a bit of a, I don't know, I hate to say a Stranger Things thing. We've got a lot of kids in movies these days who are acting beyond their years.
Yeah.
They are not just simply kids anymore. Now they are young adults. They are swearing. We hear the F word out of these kids. Which word is that? It's the general F word. And we're hearing it a lot more on screen, more, it's just becoming so much part. I don't know why they just don't, stop banning the F word. I mean, it's just part of our
They're going to learn it eventually.
It's the only word that you can actually use as a noun, a verb, a pronoun.
It's a very
fuck the fucking fuck. I mean, you can.
It's a very versatile word.
JFK used to say, "Let me say this about
Yes.
that." Yes, fuck the fucking fuck, the fucking fucker of the fucking fuckers. And yes, that is, that, I would like to say that right now. But seriously,
Not a bad
folks,
JFK.
that was pretty good, dude. Let me give you a little, thank you. Yeah. All right, now you can shoot me in the head. Boom. But anyway, The Babysitter is basically, I think, kind of rides on the coattails of this beautiful young girl.
Yes.
Who is in the film. She looks like a very young Lonnie Anderson.
Yeah, she's attractive.
She has a big, wide, kind of like the clowny.
Her name is Samara Weaving.
Oh, heavens.
And she's Australian, and guess who her uncle is?
Oh, you gotta be Hugo.
Hugo Weaving.
You go, and
His
where
niece.
I go, you go.
Yep.
I go,
That's his
you
niece.
go, I go.
And the star of the film is a young boy. His name is Judah Lewis.
Judah.
He's
Lewis.
pretty good.
Yeah, and he's the son of Richard Lewis, who's
I
the
wouldn't go that
daughter
far.
of Juliet Lewis, who's related to my
Jeffrey
mom.
Lewis.
Yeah, Jeffy Lewis, Jiffy Lube's little brother. So, hey. But did I like this film? It so catches you off guard because it starts out as a standard thing. The little kid, his parents go away for the weekend. The babysitter comes over.
She defends him from the bullies, against the bullies.
He's good. She's very cute. He's kind of lusting over her in her bathing suit out in the pool.
So you think it's going to be one thing?
You think it's going to be kind of a sex coming of age thing, and he's going to spy on her. She's inviting her boyfriend over, so we may think, but
some other people.
no.
Becomes a bloodbath.
No, this movie turns violent and just beyond violent.
Yeah.
It goes, and it basically, I kind of like the way it just went into it. So.
I kind of would have preferred
Oh,
it.
it was bloody as hell.
I would have preferred if it was more of a sex comedy kind of thing.
I think I would have too in a way because the violence was very well done.
Oh, it was great.
I always enjoy a good...
To me, that was the best part of the film was some of the violence.
Well, I enjoy
really well done.
I enjoy a good death.
Me too. There's a great throat cut in this movie.
There's we've seen great throat cuts.
But this one, there was a good flesh wound they had in this one.
Well, some of the, I think some of the best throat cuts I've ever seen have been in Game of Thrones. I mean,
they take it to a whole new level. Yeah, really great.
Game of Thrones,
great
is
deaths.
outrageous. But this movie very simple, little tiny. It's just a Matchbox movie.
Yeah.
It's nothing to be. It's almost less than a B movie. It's
Ironically enough, for quite a while, if I'm not mistaken, McGee was attached to direct a movie about the Matchbox cars.
Oh, really?
And apparently it never went
gosh.
anywhere.
Well,
Thank
hey.
goodness.
I
But
didn't
thi-
like that.
but
Little
this-
did I know, I'm
Yeah, right?
smarter than I look.
This
Yeah.
film was well
That's right.
shot. There was some good.
It was well shot.
Some cool camera moves.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a beautiful film to look at.
It was indeed.
The girl was good.
She's
the
a
boy
she's
was
a
good.
knockout. I mean,
Other than that, I thought the movie was extremely forgettable.
mediocre.
I thought the script was awful because
Really?
because here's my issue with this film. The attempts at comedy fell flat. There was zero laughs. They were trying to go for laughs in this movie. I don't understand. This film was lauded apparently on some of the blacklists and as one of the best unproduced screenplays. The comedy, the things that these characters are saying, are so
You say
stupid.
lauded on the blacklist.
The blacklist is a list that goes around Hollywood every year of the best unproduced screenplays
okay.
of the year.
That's
And
called the blacklist?
The blacklist,
Okay.
and it's not the blacklist meaning you're
Bad.
banned. No,
No,
this
it's
is
good.
There was a guy.
good to be on the blacklist.
Yeah, there was a guy in the industry named Black. He every year started putting out a list of the best unproduced scripts,
Oh,
and it
interesting.
became this thing.
Okay.
And it became a symbol of prestige within Hollywood. If your film was on the blacklist, suddenly your film became marketable.
Your chances
Yes.
would be very good for
So
production.
this was apparently on there in 2015. I looked it up.
Okay.
But my issue with it is that there are characters that die or they get hurt, and they say, "Oh my God, my breast! Who's gonna want to suck at my breast now?
Oh, that was silly.
I broke my nail! Oh my God! It's not realistic.
That
it's
was just
stupid.
feeding on the satirical
It's
essence
not
of
funny,
the California
but it
slash
did nothing
girl,
for me.
who was just so obsessed
Wasn't
with her looks.
believable at all. It was dumb. I just feel
No,
like
I found it
those
to be,
jokes were better told in a different movie that I can't remember right now. It just made me like,
I
roll my
suppose.
eyes.
Okay.
But whatever. It's a Netflix movie.
It was a Netflix film. we
There's some
believe,
merits. If it wasn't for those really great deaths, I would have been really annoyed.
Yeah.
And I think the music was interesting at times.
Yeah, the interesting one. It was okay.
I thought the parents were fun in those couple scenes. Okay,
They were.
that was comedy.
No, we know her. We know that blonde. She's
Yeah,
been on a zillion.
yeah.
Zillion
She's good.
sitcoms and
That's
everything.
Leslie Bibb.
Okay.
And we
I've
just
seen her a
saw the
million
father
times.
recently. He's the guy that directed How to Be a Latin Lover.
Really?
He's the director and co-writer of that
Okay.
film. Yeah.
Wow.
Now the scene when they
He
cut
was
to the
good.
parents in the hotel,
That was
she's giving
funny.
him a hand job under the
I
blanket.
know, that was funny.
That was funny.
While he's reading and she's reading,
Yeah,
and
that was
she's over
funny.
there going, that was funny.
No, that was okay. The parents were really good. They were funny. But other
I
than
thought
that,
the movie did have a kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of,
I mean, yes,
comic
yes,
feel
there was,
throughout.
but I
thought
didn't
the kid
care
was.
for it.
I thought the kid was okay. I thought he did a good job of.
Again, they picked another good bully when they kicked that kid in the face.
Oh yeah. Oh, that little
The little kid was a
that little bastard.
twat.
Oh yeah, he was an asshole. That little guy, he's a little pudgy
Yeah.
black boy, and
Yeah.
he was.
He did a good
hilarious.
job.
He was funny. I kind of liked it though. I liked it more than you, but then again, I am a horror
You are.
junkie to some extent. I do enjoy a good horror film.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy a good death. Those are my
This
favorite.
was not. There was no
parts of these movies.
nothing. I like a horror film, and we just
wasn't
talked
a
about
horror, yeah.
When Animals Dream before, which
Yeah, that wasn't
is
either.
categorized as a horror film, but there's nothing scary. A horror film to me is
Should be
something that is
scary, yeah.
scary. To this day, I can still watch The Exorcist, and a shiver will go up my spine at least once or
Mm-hmm. As
twice.
it should, yeah.
Father, can you spare some change for an old altar boy? There's just certain scenes in there, and those flashings of a skeletal face while the train's going by,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or just whatever, or your mother sews socks that smell. That's not what she actually says, but I mean, there's just moments in that film that just it's always an obstacle course for the nerves.
Yes.
And I love a movie that really horrifies me and makes me afraid. The Conjuring 2. Annabelle the Creation.
Yes.
I thought there were some chilling little moments in there that get to me. And if a movie can get to me, this film is more of a comedy than anything. But I thought it was fun.
Okay.
I definitely thought it was fun.
I'll say it's a departure for McGee as a filmmaker.
Yeah,
I'll give him that.
I think, as you say, it was probably on a blacklist, and probably, he's
Yeah.
probably hasn't been working for a while, and he says, "Hey, I'll do it."
Well, I think he's one of those directors, like many, that when they're not doing films, they're doing a lot of commercials. I'm sure
Yeah.
he does a lot of commercials.
He
We're
probably
seeing
does.
every day.
Yeah, I know he did a lot of videos.
He started
for a lot
out-
of
yeah, he
groups.
started out doing
video
that stuff,
director. Yeah, it was
videos.
MTV and I.
So I mean, that's their bread and butter. Those things
True.
make. They make a fortune doing that. But anyway,
I'd like to thank those 64 people who are watching us. Hey,
yes.
look, there's one guy that did something over there.
over here, Rashika Roberts sent us a thumbs up.
Hey, Rashika. Hey,
Thanks.
dude. We like you, dude. Hey, Rashika. How are you? Is that a
Yes.
boy or a girl?
I don't know.
can't
So
tell.
whoever you are, thank you.
Is that a man or a woman?
I can't tell by the
Can't
picture.
tell what you are. But you sort of look like, you might be sort of an F or a what. But we don't care, Rashika. You're all right by me.
All right, so we're gonna move on.
We're going to move on to 4-H's, which is the
4-H club.
the harried whores of Harriman Hart. No, actually,
Harriman Hill.
this is a film about. We reviewed last year a movie called Anthropoid.
Yes.
Which is about the
it
murder
out.
of Reinhard. Heinrich Reinhard, blah, blah, blah. He was the one German guy. This was in Czechoslovakia.
Yes.
The Germans are in Czechoslovakia. They've taken over the entire country. And there's a specific man there who is, I like the beginning of this film because he's caught with a whore in bed. And she then pronounces him, that she kind of rats him out. I believe she gets pregnant, and I could be mistaken on that part. I think I think my popcorn fell, or I don't know. But regardless, he kind of is now court-martialed.
Okay.
This happens right at the beginning of the film. He's about to marry the lovely and beautiful British actress Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike.
Who's a wonderful actress. We saw her in Gone Girl not long ago. David Fincher with good old Ben Affleck. Who's now
Gone Girl.
Who's now squeezing the young flesh of women himself, we've heard. But I still love you, Ben. I don't care. I think he's a good Batman. A lot of people don't. But regardless, so we see the alternate side of this man, and this man, because of his anger and being court-martialed, he has to now prove himself. Well, this film is called HHHH, also known as The Man with the Iron Heart. This guy has no heart. This is the guy who basically went into, whose decision it was to actually start to create
And who plays
concentration
him?
camps.
Is
This
it him?
guy, yeah.
Oh, Jason Clarke.
Yeah, what do
He's
we
been
know
in a
him from?
ton of stuff.
He's been in a ton of stuff.
I mean, he was in the second of the new Planet of the Apes films.
Oh,
He's an
okay.
Australian actor.
You know, I had to go check
He's
him out.
been in a lot of
The first
movies. He's
thing-
in everything these days.
As soon as I saw this guy's face, I thought, is that the same guy that we just saw in The Exception? That was, having the affair with the little girl who was the Cinderella chick.
that was
That was another guy.
No, yeah,
I
that
know,
was-
but
that
I
was-
always
what's his
thought,
name?
gee, it looks so similar.
that was.
But this film is so well done. Anyway, there is these rebels
Jai Courtney, that was.
come from England. They parachute in, and their sole duty is to kill this man who is this heartless bastard of a human being. They want to kill him. They want to kill him dead, and they do. It's in the books. You can check it out. Get his name for me if you would. The Reinhard.
Oh, the real person.
The real person. He's a very famous German man.
Yeah, yeah.
Reinhard, Heinrich Reinhard, the Rickenbod the Third, or whatever the hell he is. But he's a horrible, horrible man.
Yeah, it's Reinhard Heydrich.
Reinhard Heydrich.
Yes.
You will like this film, I tell you now. But I'll tell you something. This movie really goes into where Anthropoid, we just see the side view of the rebels.
Yes,
and,
yes.
and everything they went through, the girls that they love, the people they stay with, their contacts in Czechoslovakia and Prague there. So, we have this whole underground world going on, but at the same time we're seeing the German aspect of it also, that the head guys who are coming down on Reinhard here.
Cool.
So
So it's a wider view.
Well, we go right up to the point, from Reinhardt's point of view, to the point where he's about to be killed. Basically, he actually didn't die. He died in a hospital later on. That's a whole other ball of wax that was so disturbing to me. They never try and help him. He's in the hospital. He's bleeding from a grenade that's gone off. He's just laying there in bed. They don't even try and help the guy. It was so disturbing to me. I tell you. I mean, why weren't they in there trying to block the bleeding? There's nobody. So, okay, the Germans go crazy. They start to kill everybody in the town, in this small little village, basically. Outside of Prague, that this has all taken place in. So, but we see everything, and of course, then the big finale, as we all know from Anthropoid, is these guys are finally caught in a church. It's basically two brothers who kind of have bonded and so forth, and we see this whole they slaughtered just like hundreds and hundreds of Nazis, and I'm just loving that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Like
See,
Anthropoid,
the
that
Nazis
ending of
get
Anthropoid
dead.
is so tense.
I want them dead. I want their families dead. But pardon me.
I said that ending of Anthropoid was so intense.
So
So
intense.
is this just as good?
Absolutely.
Great.
You get to relive the whole
Great.
Anthropoid all over again from a
Great.
different point of view this
That's
time.
cool.
So if you loved Anthropoid with Cillian Murphy and and our lovely our little French girl.
Your face, Charlotte Labon.
Charlotte Labon.
Who you
Oh,
love.
Charlotte.
Labon.
You move me to extremes of great. My croissant goes into overdrive. Yeast rises.
Indeed.
You understand? But
Does.
yeah, but seriously, hey. Let me say this about that. And now, a little multiply for Miss Labon. But I'll tell you, I like this film very, very much. You know, it always amazes me when you see a movie that's set back in the German time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now convinced they just have a set in Pinewood Studios that they just leave
Yeah,
there.
they should.
Set in 1942.
Yeah.
They've just got Nazi flags hung through the place.
Oh,
They just, okay, everybody off the Nazi set. We're clearing it for the next film we're going to make next year.
I mean, honestly, it's a revolving
I
door.
mean, it is. We just saw that great film with Brian, not Brian Cox, the Irish guy. Remember, he and his wife, played by Helen Mirren.
Yes.
What was the name of that film? It was called "And Their Son Is Killed."
Helen Mirren, you mean Emma Thompson.
I love that movie. Emma Thompson.
Yeah,
Forgive me. I'm sorry.
And Brendan Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah, you're talking about the movie you loved.
I loved it.
The Berlin.
Not the Berlin Syndrome.
No, it was,
You know, that's on. The Berlin Syndrome is on Netflix now. That's
Is
about
it?
the girl
Oh,
who gets.
cool. I wanna check
the
that
girl
out.
who gets.
No, you're thinking
kinda
of
kidnapped.
what the hell's the name of that movie? You
It
loved
was
it.
called.
You were raving about it.
I did love
We
it.
covered it on the show.
Yeah, but we don't know what
Well,
we're
we
talking
see so
about
many
here.
movies, hard to
We see
remember.
so many movies, we
It'll
don't know
come
what
to
we're
me. It'll
doing
come to me.
anymore. Hey.
Shall we move on?
We're seeing the movies for you. For
Yeah.
you. Well, we do really see them for us.
Yeah.
And him. But, okay, let us move on.
Okay.
I really like this
So you
film
like
a
that.
lot.
I'm gonna
It's
check
a
it out.
good
That sounds
Nazi
great.
movie.
Yeah.
Authenticism. And it just, you know, you know, the thing that always blows me away about Nazi movies is when they show the Nazis. I'm surprised what's his face wasn't in this. You know, what's the guy? He was in both the other German films. Younger guy,
Daniel
you know,
Bruhl?
Daniel Bruhl.
Yeah.
Yeah, where
Always
was Daniel
plays a
Bruhl?
Nazi.
I'm looking for Daniel Bruhl. I go, where the hell is he? He's in all these Nazi
was in the
films.
other
He
one we
always
were
plays
talking
the
about, yeah.
son of a bitch Nazi that he is.
He's done it 3-4 times at least.
I know he has, but he's great though.
He's
a
very good.
great asshole, ladies and gentlemen. He's a rectal orifice for all times. That's right. And here's for you, Daniel. Oh wait, sorry. Okay, I'm wasting time now. I
All
really
right.
love this film. I didn't love it, but I loved the Anthropoid so much.
Yes.
Perfect double feature.
That
oh my
sounds
God.
great.
Actually, not a little redundant to see them both side
still
by
wanna see
side.
it.
But you need to see it,
Yeah.
and you will be seeing it.
I'm gonna check it out.
It is
I
now
promise.
for you. Did I get that back to you, by the way?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. Gee, I'm sorry I didn't.
It's
Okay.
okay. All right, so
let's
now I'm
move
gonna
on
do-
to the Meyerowitz stories, the Ben Stiller.
Yes, it's
Dustin
called
Hoffman.
the Meyerowitz Stories,
Adam Sandler.
New and Selected. It's a new
Okay.
Netflix film,
Right.
directed by the quirky director Noah Baumbach, who also did.
Is that Irma's son?
I'm not sure if they're
Irma
related,
Baumbach?
maybe. But he's the one that did The Squid and the Whale. He did Francis Ha.
okay.
With Greta Gerwig.
Love
He's
Francis
great. I love
Ha.
his movies.
Love Greta.
He's another one of those filmmakers that came out onto the scene in the mid 2000s and started doing a lot of these quirky, dysfunctional family movies.
Okay.
That's like a genre in itself. You know, Royal Tenenbaums fits into there. Wes Anderson does it. A bunch of
Right.
it's
Semi-comedic.
semi-comedic.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
Woody Allen has touched on that kind of a theme a little
Absolutely.
bit.
That's
This
almost
film, I'll be
Woody's
honest with
go-to.
you, this film, in many different moments, reminded me of a Woody Allen movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Meyerowitz Stories is it's told in several.
It's one story.
No, it's one main story,
All right.
but it's
But
told within like little chapters.
Okay.
It jumps
The
through.
combination of subplots
Yeah.
that comprise.
Yeah, and it jumps through time, but not back in time. It'll jump through time within like a few weeks, kind of a thing.
Now let me ask the main question.
Different
that
perspectives.
Everyone wants to know: is this in fact an Adam Sandler film?
No.
Good.
No. And I was going to touch on that. It stars Adam Sandler. It stars Ben Stiller. And Dustin Hoffman. He
Yeah.
plays their father.
Good.
And then their sister in the film, she's in there. She's an actress from House of Cards as well. She's very good. Her name is Elizabeth Marvel. So there are 3 siblings. Dustin Hoffman's the patriarch. However, he's been married several times. So only Adam Sandler and the daughter, they share one mother. Ben Stiller's from another marriage.
Okay.
Ex-wife played
All right,
by
too much
Candice Bergen.
information. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's just
But
part
I just
of it.
want to know about the
Yeah.
film
No,
itself.
well,
Tell
that
us
see the reason
main
that's
gist.
the reason that's important because that's a major dramatic part of the film.
Okay.
Is that Adam Sandler and the sister feel very slighted for the way that Dustin Hoffman pretty much almost favored his youngest child, played by Ben Stiller.
Okay.
That's a huge
Where
thread.
does Adam Sandler fit in?
He is the oldest.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But he always felt like second-class
All
citizen.
right. So Mom always liked you. Dad always liked you best.
Pretty much, because
His mother's brother.
him and his
Yeah.
him and his sister were raised by the mother.
Okay.
So the story focuses on this period of time where they go to stay with him in New York with Dustin Hoffman.
All right.
He's got a big beard. He's an artist. He's a sculptor artist
Yeah.
in this film. A great cameo in this film. A couple scenes by Judd Hirsch, who
Okay.
plays an artist friend of his
Getting up there.
who's a little more successful.
How'd you like the film?
I loved it. I
Did you?
I liked it a lot. It was very entertaining. There's some comedy, slapstick comedy in a way.
Oh, good.
But there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of dysfunctional family stuff that I think almost anybody can identify with at
Okay.
times. Everybody's very good. Emma Thompson's very good. She plays
Emma's in this?
yeah, she plays Dustin Hoffman's latest wife,
Okay.
who's kind of like a flake. She's
Oh,
kind of a
okay.
hippie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, she's very good.
Oh, I would like that.
Yeah, no, I
Usually
think you'll
that
enjoy
role
this
goes
film.
to Jane Fonda
It
or
does.
Kathy Bates
Yeah,
or...
perfect for them too.
Yeah.
But you'll enjoy her, and I think you'll enjoy the film.
Okay.
Dustin
No, I'm
gives
looking forward to it.
Dustin gives a very memorable performance.
Does he?
Excellent. I loved him.
You
in
know, I
this.
just saw him and
and
Adam.
Ben and Adam were excellent.
Oh, good.
Very good. First Adam film that I've seen in quite some time.
Really?
And I thought it was his best performance.
Oh, you didn't see Sandy...
Not yet, Sandy Wexler, not yet. I know you raved about that
Okay.
one.
I
Yeah.
thought it was funny. You know, the reviews were unkind from
Yeah.
some of the other reviewers out there. But
I think
yeah,
this is his
I
best
thought it was
work in a
really
while.
funny.
I
Okay.
really recommend the Meyerowitz story, the Meyerowitz stories, new and selected, just premiered on Netflix last week.
I know it did. I know it did. In fact, I actually went to watch it the night that it premiered, and I clicked on it with my little,
Yes.
you know, my remote. I'm getting into the details of
Of your
trying
day.
to
Yeah.
get to this film, and it kept telling me that film is not available right now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I know. It's very strange. Usually, the film when they first come on.
Maybe you got to just reboot the Netflix or something.
This is what happened. I actually started browsing around.
Is that when you watched Babysitter?
That's when I
Ah.
watched The Babysitter,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact. Or I might have watched When Animals Dream or
Okay.
something. But no, that I was looking for, Animals
Yeah.
Dream. I mean, I was looking for something weird and quirky
Yeah,
to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
for this show. But, which we do that just for you folks, you know. We try and be...
We'll
you know,
generally
we're
watch
not
things that you might not
quirky,
normally
but
watch.
We try and go things that not
Which I like.
Everybody... I do too.
I like that I'm exposing myself to films that I probably would never normally seek out.
And I don't
I
like
like
that he
that.
exposes himself, but it does happen.
Hey.
You better just be thankful you're not
You're
there
gonna get it
when
regardless,
does.
so
That's right.
enjoy it.
Okay, so let us
Let's
on
move on.
now. Next film I'm going to do is a film called 68 Kill, and it stars...
The new film.
Doobie,
His name is Matthew
Doobie
Gray.
Dum Wum Wum.
Matthew Gray Gubler.
Matthew Gray Gubler, he is from not CSI,
Criminal
but
Minds.
He's the young, kind of smart little Sherlock Holmesian guy. You've seen him. If you've seen him, he's a skinny little guy. This is kind of a totally... this is an off-the-wall kind of film. Ultra-violent. Stars the incredible, immaculate Anna Lynn McCord.
Yes.
Oh, my God. She used
And
to
this
be on
film is on
Nip
Amazon
Tuck.
right now,
I
just
don't
so
know if
you
ever
know.
watched Nip Tuck, but
Nip
she
Tuck.
was the Nip Tuck, but she was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
daughter of... she was what's his name's daughter? Not Christian, but or Julian. What's his face?
McMahon?
But the other guy. I think it was his daughter.
No, she wasn't one of his kids.
No.
No.
Who was she then?
No, she came into the show halfway through the run of the show. Or,
Did she?
yeah.
Well, let's not go into that right now.
I
but
forget how
let's
she
talk
plays
about
into
this. This is about a guy. This is his girlfriend. We kind of go out into the world. They kind of she's just a waitress. He's just a schlumpy guy, kind of living at home playing video games.
Okay.
And she's a stripper.
Oh,
She's
big difference between that and a waitress.
Well, not really, except there's a pole.
Well, they work for
Except
tips.
There's a pole there,
Yeah.
but they're both working for tips, baby. So, okay, hey.
You see her in the flesh in this movie or no?
You
Probably
do see a couple scenes. Yeah, you do, actually.
Oh.
No, you do. Anna Lynn is beautifully on display. My God, this girl is so gorgeous. And Nip Tuck we're talking 10 years ago now. That was like 2008, 2007.
Yeah,
it
that
ended.
show's been done
That show's
for
been done and
6, 7
gone.
years.
But I'll tell you, this girl has just gotten more
You know, that was such a
stunningly
great show that
beautiful.
just died.
Oh, I just
the
love
last
that
2
show
seasons.
so much. I just love that. And
I did too.
loved,
But once they went to LA, the show went.
I don't know what happened. Well, no, didn't they go to Miami? Or
No,
they
Miami
started-
first.
They started in Miami.
Once it moved to
Oh, you're
LA,
right.
it really
And
went
you would have thought
downhill.
it would have gotten better in Miami because that's plastic surgery heaven.
No, you mean LA.
That's
Going
what I
to
meant.
LA.
Yeah.
It just lost it.
I don't know what
It's a
happened.
shame.
But anyway, this is a film about him and her. So we now go on a kind of a heist. She knows a guy. He's got, she goes over and does sexual favors for this guy.
Oh.
She's also a whore part-time as
Okay.
a stripper. but she still loves her boyfriend.
Great.
And there's a sincerity about her
Good for
character,
him.
but it's very a blasé sincerity that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
It's just so tongue-in-cheek. She really plays this well.
Okay.
He just plays kind of a mindless fish out of water here, and he goes along for the ride. They put masks on. They're going for this thing, and suddenly outrageous violence, much like The Babysitter, incurs and just kind of takes over the whole film. And now we kind of just keep this little path kind of keeps going on, and he just keeps going into this more submerged, decadent lifestyle. I love this film in a way. I mean, I didn't love the film. It's a very much of a B picture.
Yes.
It's beautifully shot. It's beautifully made. The acting is all first rate. But you know a B movie when you see it.
Course.
You know, you're not going to get it. There's no citizen. There's no Oscars involved here. No nominations. There ain't no nothing.
And not every film has to be that, which is fine.
90% of the films we reviewed today is nothing.
You're right.
None of these are going to be Oscar nommed for nothing at
Probably
all.
not.
Absolutely. Except
Made
the film you didn't see, which was the one in
the Florida
Montana.
Project.
The Florida Project. That
I'll
probably,
get to that.
yeah. Hey, and a little round of applause.
I'm
for
hoping
the Florida Project.
I can see that tomorrow,
Mr.
next week.
Willie Defoe, who was just in Death Note. I liked him in Death Note. You didn't like Death Note.
I didn't care for the film.
thought
I
it was
liked him
pretty
in
cool. But 68 Kill is a fun little romp. It's bloody as hell.
Cool.
I mean, the blood is just everywhere in this film. And people are getting maimed and beaten and just beyond belief. I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. It was a kick to behold, and I was glued to it. Very often I will put a film on at 3 o'clock in the morning just to see, is it a good copy? Does it look good? Does it, some of these films are a little iffy. You get them off of Amazon, or you get them from whatever source you get them.
Yes.
And you're questionable of their actual visual audio content.
And you know what's funny? I've even noticed sometimes on Netflix, they'll have a print of the film that just looks like dog crap.
I know. Very true.
It's like, guys, you're licensing this project.
Don't you realize that you are the middleman of
get
a
a good
film?
copy.
I agree. But, sometimes they just say, hey, listen, we'll get this for now.
We'll take what we can get.
We'll try and replace it. But I got to say, most of the 99% of the films
most of it looks great.
on Netflix look really good.
No, it does.
I will say that.
But sometimes you just get that stinker. We interrupt this program for the following message. Attention. This is a public service announcement. Have you seen this man? Keep him away from your wife, your girlfriend, your sister, your mistress, your niece, your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your aunt, your great-aunt, your cousin, your female coworker, your mother-in-law. Well, maybe not her. Just kidding. Protect her too. Any female in your life, including your pets and plants. Keep them away from this man. He is a sex addict, a sex offender, a predator who preys on anything that moves. His name is Harvey Weinstein. He loves hotel bathrobes and unrequested showers in front of others. And he also produces films. If you see him, contact your local law enforcement authority immediately. This has been a public service announcement. Today you bought a wonderful skeleton of a dog.
I did. Where is that dog?
I don't know. It was in the hallway.
Why don't you go grab it and show the people?
Where is it?
It's over down the hallway. Just walk down the hall and there it is. I think you should all
It's
see
worth
this, though. It is worth it. Yeah, you can sit him on your lap here.
I will.
All right, there we go.
So you finishing up your review?
Yeah, I like 68 Kill. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. This is a full size. There you go, and there he is, folks.
In his
He's
glory.
really quite cool.
See?
Now he also has a stupid little thing which I have removed. But
What is it?
there's a little thing, and you pull it,
Oh, okay.
and his eyes glow red. But
Ah.
I don't particularly care for that.
You don't need that.
But I like him, though. I mean, did everyone see it? Yeah.
I think
there he
everybody
is.
saw it.
There-
They saw his butt.
If you'd like to sniff that, just
Thanks.
to check him out, you're welcome to. Give it a little whip. There you go.
Smells
All
like
right.
ceramics.
Well, dogs like to sniff each other.
They
so
do.
It's just the nature of the game.
All right.
68 Kill. You want to go for the drowning?
Yeah, I'm going to do that real quick.
Do the drowning real
Yeah,
quick.
so I'm going to do
Netflixian,
another film that's on
Julia
Netflix right
Stiles.
now.
There you go.
I was in Netflix mode this week. It's a film called The Drowning, starring Josh Charles and Julia Stiles. this film, I've seen it on Netflix for a while, and I said, what the hell?
I did too. I've seen it myself. It's what year is it? 2016?
Yeah, well, on Netflix it says 2017.
Oh, okay.
So I guess they might have just premiered it. I think it might have been released somewhere, maybe in 2016, according to IMDb.
Oh, really?
But it's a 2017 release, according to Netflix, so whatever.
Okay.
The film basically focuses on a psychologist, a child psychologist played by Josh Charles.
It says we're over, but over there we're only at 58, so we're doing fine.
Yeah, because we didn't start exactly on time because of issues.
I know.
So anyway, he's a child psychologist who, in the first scene or two, him and his wife are walking around by the water, and they rescue a guy who's trying to drown himself. Turns out he is a patient that he treated 10 or 12 years prior when he was a kid.
Oh, wow.
Who we find out fairly soon, had just got out of prison. So the story revolves around this kid now. They've saved him. They did mouth to mouth. And we find out...
They did mouth to mouth?
Yeah, because he jumped in the water to save him. He was trying to drown himself.
Did she do it or did he?
She did it, actually.
There you go.
Yeah. So the film then just kind of focuses on now this kid is in their lives, and is he who he seems to be?
But he's an older guy now. He's an older guy.
Yeah, he's like 20 now, whatever. He's but he was like 10
Who
or
plays
11.
the kid? Do we know the kid?
Nobody I've seen before.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to write his name down, but
All right.
I'll pull him up later.
Fair enough.
But he was pretty good. Everybody was pretty good in the film. And so the film is like a thriller in a way. It's a mystery.
By the way, I'd just like to interrupt here. I apologize for that pompous admission of my the money that I spent on things. It was a horrible thing for me to say. Just on a pompous level there. I completely, the arrogance of all that, just, it bequeaths me. It's below me. So, and please, if someone would below me, I would be ever so grateful. But no, anyway, please continue. I'm sorry.
So
back to, but I
yeah. So the film,
I thought that was a little too.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Nobody cares.
Nobody gives a shit.
The film then just hinges on Josh Charles' character trying to, go through the motions of, he's trying to figure out what is this kid's agenda because he's always showing up at their house, this and that.
Okay.
And then we meet other characters that know him. There's a police officer that he knows, a parole officer that
Too much
they have
plot
many
now.
scenes.
Too much plot.
So anyway, long story short, it's a throwaway
Get into
movie.
the
I don't
gist.
recommend
Is it a
it.
thriller?
Don't
Is it
even-
a horror? Is it a mystery? What is
Well,
it?
I said before, it was a thriller and a mystery.
Oh, you did?
Well, I said that when you interrupted me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
do apologize for.
I can't
By the way, I'd
recommend-
like to make an apology right now for interrupting my friend here.
It's okay.
I'd like to
I'm used to
interrupt
it.
him just to
It's a badge of
apologize.
honor at this point.
There you go. Okay, go ahead.
I can't recommend this film. It's a
Really?
throwaway. It's,
I could tell it wasn't good, but you know why?
Nothing.
Because I saw Julia Stiles was in it.
It's a shame because I like
And
her.
I liked her
But
back
she's
in
not
the day.
given much to do in this movie.
What was that film she did where she played a swimmer and she was obsessed with some guy in a pool?
Well, you're thinking, no, that wasn't her. That's
What was it?
Swim Fan.
That was, yeah.
That wasn't her. That was the
That was the girl
lookalike.
who looks like
Yeah,
her.
the other girl.
What's her name? Let's look her up.
Yeah, what was her
What
name?
in the hell
You
was
look her up.
Because
What the hell was
she
her
looks
name?
just like Julia.
I want to say
I know.
Christensen. Is it Jessica Christensen?
No, I don't think
It's
so.
something Christensen, I think.
it?
I could be
Okay.
wrong. Look up Swim Fan. But anyway, you could skip,
her
unfortunately, the
name
drowning.
looks like,
Erica Christensen. I bet you.
There she is. Look at her.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you
I'm
going
going
to
to put the picture up on YouTube.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I
in
mean, she looks
post-production.
just like, look at her.
Erica
Erica
Christensen.
Christensen. She
Looks
looks
just like her.
just like,
Julia
she looks just like Julia. Wait,
They
let
can't
me-
see it.
Hold on.
They can't see it. It's too bright.
It's too bright. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
like
too bright.
It's as though you wrecked the controls by
It's
by
too
shooting video on it and destroyed the whole camera.
They can't see it. They can't see it. You're wasting your time.
Can you imagine it though?
Imagine it.
Can you imagine?
Look up Erica
There's
Christensen,
no
those guys that
Julia.
are watching us.
It's easy if you try. It's funny. That was John's mother's name, you know.
Oh, good for
Julia. Anyway, she looks just like her.
Although I'd say that Julia Stiles is more attractive.
You think so?
I think so.
I think they're both kind of young, lovely young ladies. I
Okay,
really
well,
do.
bully
Julia.
for them.
She's probably a little younger though. So
She's younger, yeah. But anyway, I gotta say you can skip the
No, good.
drowning.
Okay.
There really wasn't much to recommend there. Really, I just wasn't really invested in that film.
Okay.
So why don't you finish up with your last review, or we can wait for next week?
No, let's do
Do
my
it
last
quick, because I know
review.
you wanted to do this one
I
last week.
did want to do it last week. We're only at an hour and 2 minutes right
Go
now.
ahead.
I'll do this very quickly. This is a 1962 drama. It stars Anthony Perkins.
Yes.
This is 2 years after he did Alfred Hitchcock's brilliant
Psycho.
shower film theme Psycho.
What's the name of this film?
The name of the film is Phaedra.
Phaedra.
Phaedra is a character played by
PH.
the...
Phaedra with a PH.
Phaedra.
Yes.
And she is a character. She's married to this very wealthy mogul of a man who creates boats and ships and so forth. And his son is actually his son by his previous wife is played by Anthony Perkins. Now, Anthony Perkins in real life is a gay man.
Yes.
And in this film, he plays almost a semi-macho kind of character. It just didn't pan out for me personally. I didn't find
You
his
couldn't buy it?
characters. I couldn't really, only because I've read so much.
So you know so much about it.
There's a great bio. I love biographies, and there's a great one on Anthony Perkins that you can find at your local library. It's called Split Image, and oh my God, it is just a wonderful book. I mean, it really goes into the really decadent world of Anthony Perkins.
Yeah.
You know, many gay folk are, and certainly back in the days when they could not easily come out, there was an obsession and a drive and a horror about being exposed to their, you know, Rock Hudson was one of those guys.
Yes.
You know, I always heard they had to bury Rock Hudson face down. You know, so his friends would recognize him at the.
I know.
Hey, where is
Same
it when
thing
you,
for,
where is it when you need it? I say.
Raymond Burr made up this whole story of having a
Raymond
family.
Burr. You know who Raymond Burr's boyfriend was back in the day? Was
Yes.
Merv Griffin.
Yes. What? No.
Yeah. No, Merv Griffin and Raymond Burr.
Really?
Hand in hand, walking down Rodeo Drive.
I didn't know that.
There you go.
I didn't know Merv Griffin was gay.
My dog Angie's going to sniff the butt of the skeletal dog, which is sitting on the floor now. But
Dogs
okay,
are
let's get
just
back
weird.
to Phaedra. This now becomes Melina McCory is the wife of the mogul. His son being played by, from a previous marriage, Anthony Perkins. She goes to London to convince, because the father wants her to convince him. He's always going off on business trips.
Yeah.
So she's left alone. So I love this movie. This movie was so obsessively. There was a great passion and drive in this. It was directed by Melina McCory's husband, great guy by the name of Jules Dassin, who great as some really Rafifi, a great heist film was done by him. A great little another heist film called Top Cappy. Peter Ustinov won Best Supporting Actor in 1963 for that film. I'll tell you something. This film is just about obsessive love, just being so obsessed with somebody and so completely. And certainly from an older person's viewpoint, more so than the younger being obsessed with her. But she meets with him in London to try and convince him to come back and stay in Greece with Dad. And of course, Anthony, I don't want anything to do with him. But I do. There is a great scene where Anthony is obsessed with a car in a window, which is the James Bond Aston Martin.
Yes.
Which was only actually brought out in 1964 for Goldfinger. That was the first time we saw the Aston Martin on screen. We didn't see it on screen or From Russia with Love or Dr. No. We only saw it in Goldfinger. So this was pre the Aston Martin in Goldfinger. This is 62, Goldfinger 64. Anyway, this movie is a tragedy. I totally was into this film. Melina McCory is so obsessively... she's just driven mad with desire for this guy, and little girls are coming on to Anthony Perkins when he finally does come back to Greece, and she's so jealous, and you can feel the passion in this film. I was really drawn to this film. I was sucked in like a little fly to a big pile of manure. And at the same time, I mean that in a positive way. I really enjoyed this film very, very much. It was gripping. It was quite wonderful, and kind of what you thought was going to happen doesn't always, and it takes a little twists and turns, and I really enjoyed it along the way. It was quite a ride, and it was just a great little. I loved just going into that black and white, getting into that black and white world, that nostalgic essence of foreign cinema. This is an English-speaking film, however, but I just love going back, and I know that's something that I try and impress upon you. I was very grateful that the other week you did go back and watch Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which I specifically...
Well, you keep forgetting. I've watched a lot of classics. I just don't watch them as often as you do.
I know, but you kind of stay in, and I don't mean this as a but, because you're quite, and when I say but, you seem to cling to the era of your youth.
We all do, though.
Well,
everybody
not
does.
Me. No.
You love movies from your childhood.
I do.
The era when you got into film.
No, you are so wrong there, sir. Because I don't just go into films of. I go into films in the 1800s. I go into the 1900s. I go into black and white. I go into foreign films back in the 1920s and 30s and 40s and 50s. I go all through the gamut. I made it a point. I remember in high school, I made it a point because there was a guy that I knew. His name was Bob
I know
Mapp.
you told this story on air before.
Well, okay. I did tell this story before?
I have it all on film, yeah.
Oh, could you rerun it then, Joe, so I can... I
don't know what episode. I should have
I'll tell you something.
Should have written down what episode it was.
This friend of mine knew all the Academy Awards. So I made it a point
Yeah.
to stay. I would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning because The Life of Emile Zola was on with Paul Muni, Best Picture 1937. I loved it. I mean, I just made a point to just really appreciate. And my parents were fighting, much like
Virginia Woolf,
Dick
yeah.
and Liz, and
Yes.
Who's Afraid. So I'll tell you, who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? I am, George.
Yes.
I am.
Such a good movie.
It is such a great little
Haunting film.
Haunting and depressing, and yet I embrace it.
I would say out of the classics that I've seen that have stayed with me in terms of a haunting quality, that and Whatever Happened to Baby Jane
Oh, God.
left like a mark.
Well,
Really
Whatever Happened to Baby
effective.
Jane is
It's a horror film,
You know, that's
in a weird way.
That is a horror. That is such a horrible.
It's a tough movie to watch.
It's a horrible film to watch.
Yeah, I know.
It is a gruesome
It's a
film.
mean film.
I saw that film in the theater.
Rough.
Well, I didn't see it the original run, but I saw it. It was re-released, I think, a double feature with some other. Joan Crawford made a movie about a woman in a cage. Later on, she did a lot of exploitative films because her 40s world, Mildred Pierce, where she
Yeah.
won Best Actress 1945. You know, she was dying out as an actress. So, you know, actresses began to go to these horrific, almost, like Roger Corman, you know,
Yes,
exploitative kind of films. So, there you go, folks. I think we can probably end the show.
Yeah,
on a
good show.
note.
Good-
It's an hour
good
and
stuff.
hour and 8 minutes. So, we're going to say goodnight.
See you
to
next week,
all.
guys.
We'd like to say goodnight.
Same banter
I'd like to-
time, same
Wish
banter
you
time.
all, and we shall be back in 2 weeks, remember. We'll be back next week
Yes, of course.
with more horrible reviews. But we will be back in 2 weeks.
Because we're going to be
having our specific Halloween
Halloween
show,
show.
which is on the very eve of Halloween.
We'll see if anybody's watching that
Yes,
night.
and of course.
They're going to be too busy taking LSD
Chris
and
here
going
will be
shopping.
presenting his Halloweenie,
I
which
will.
is a very small weenie of hollow
Hey,
proportion.
don't give any
Oh, I don't know that
spoilers
to be a fact,
here.
though. I don't know that to be a fact.
Halloweenies on Halloween
but,
only.
you know, hey, that's the way it goes.
But anyway, yeah, we'll see you next week.
Hey, we'll see you next week.
As
We're
usual.
so glad we have 118 folk here
I'll
today.
take 118.
Listen, we love you. We don't care. We don't care that it's a pathetic show.
For the live
for
audience,
our brilliant
whatever.
talent, all wasted. But you know something, I'm just so grateful that you folks have showed, and especially to Miss Rashika Roberts.
Yes.
She sent us a
Thank
big.
you, my dear.
Oh wait, is that a middle finger? She
Maybe
sent?
it's a middle
I
finger.
think she sent us a finger of
Yeah.
a middle proportion. No, I'm kidding. That's not true. She actually gave us a big like.
She did. Wonderful.
She did. But
Anyway, yeah,
maybe
so,
now she'd like to give us a middle finger.
Maybe
so
she would. Next
please-
week we'll
please-
see you guys.
Please don't.
Check us out on
Please,
YouTube, as
please,
always. It's
please.
much better on YouTube.
Please
You can watch
don't.
all of our episodes that are produced after the live stream. Filmbanter@gmail.com is our email. If you want to give us, I don't know, a comment, whatever.
Yeah, if you want to go.
If you want to give him any critiques on his haircut, feel free.
Vagina mail. Yeah.
And
you
then
wanna go
watch
to
watch us and like us on Facebook.
You
We
can watch
got
us
stuff
on
there.
Turd Mail.
We also
and-
put the stuff on Facebook. The episodes are also on there.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Dude.
I'm gonna sign off here.
Go,
Thank you.
dude. No,
I'm gonna take care of this.
All right, man. Okay, dude. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Where are you? Where are you? You're not answering your phone. You're not home. Where the hell are you? You know we got to do the show. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Ah! Ah!
Chris, are you okay? Chris, wake up. Chris, it's okay, man. It's okay, dude. Dude, wake up. Oh, shit, I think he's dead.
And that's it, folks.